Hey, Brian from Garage Hall. Today I have a Vevor Airless sprayer. So there's no air compressor involved, so you don't need a big tank of air or anything to use this. It works great for spray painting, and in my application I'm actually going to be using fluid film and undercoating to undercoat my vehicle. Typically you have like a hand sprayer, I'll show it to you, and you fill it up and it's bulky, it's weird, it's kind of like to get in all the little spots inside your vehicle to make the undercoating. So let me show you how this works and everything that you get in the kit. So right away you get your instruction manual, and I'll bring that closer so you can see. And then that is everything in the box. So it looks like that's part of your handle. And let's get everything out of the box. Okay, so that's a sprayer, and it comes with wheels, so it makes that easy to move around. And it looks like this is part of the nozzle, I guess. Yeah. So that's part of your nozzle part. So that's kind of like your extension piece on there. Let's open this box. So it's got like a strainer. It's got a little brush, cleaning brush. And so that is your nozzle sprayer, and a hose attaches to that. So really super easy to control and use, rather than like a sprayer with one of those tanks and stuff on them. So you get a whole bunch of extra little O-rings. Then it looks like this is your handle. It goes in like this. Super easy. Then that is the top part of your handle. I think it will go back here. I'll have to take a look at the pictures, but you can reverse this either way. So however you want to do that. And then our wheels. Will go on here at the bottom. Looks like there's two manuals, so I'll have to go through and see which one has most of this stuff. So you have your axle that will go through here like this, and then your wheel goes on like that, and then you have a cotter pin that's included, as long as I don't put too much weight on that. So that's your wheel on that side, and basically we'll just replicate it on this side as well. Okay, so that's that. This is your cord, 110, 120 volts. So again, not too bad, generous size, about 6 foot I would imagine. And then this is your suction line for whatever you are putting in, like a 1 gallon tank. And then it has this little port here that you can put your tip in. Or if you're using the extension part on here as well, you can screw that in, and then you have like the longer extension tip on there So it looks like you can tighten that down pretty good. Then you do have the ability to kind of close that, flip around. You have another nozzle on the other side, but this is the one we're going to be using to spray with. So very cool. And then you can rotate that around depending on how you want your spray to go. And then we'll hand tighten it for now. But it does come with some tools you can tighten it down with. This is your hose. And this is your on-off switch. So it's protected underneath a little plastic shroud. And then this is your control your PSI. And it has some pre-stuff on here like high spray, low spray, clean. Then like give roller, so you can attach a power roller to this. So that's pretty neat. And then this is your, I guess that's your feed spray on this. Turn it on and off. And then you have your little connection point here. Let me get a pair of pliers. Okay, so that was tough to get off. So that is your hose. I'm actually got my heater running in here now, if you can hear that, so I can make sure that I have it warm enough in here so the undercoating can get pressurized really well. So, and then we just connect this to this port. And I think that is your 19mm connection. Then you have your other end. We can put the hose up here. So that can hold your hose. And then again, stretch this out. And then you can hook this to the bottom of your sprayer. So very cool, uncoiled as we go. And then that is your spray nozzle. It's got a little hook on this, so you can hook it up onto that, put it out of the way when you're not using it. And then it has this little drip tray that you can use if you're using this extension piece onto the nozzle. But anyway, let me clean up in here. And oh, let me show you the directions. So that kind of gives you a quick idea. So if you do get a clog, you can flip it around. So that's what the unclog button side is. So pretty easy. Okay, a more in-depth booklet on the sprayer. Okay. All right, let me get my this all situated, put down, and get my car in here, and then we'll start undercoating, and I'll show you how that works with this. Okay, so that's your prime button. This is your on and off button. And then we're going to set this to the high to start off with. And then you want a priming bucket, so that sits in there. And then basically we start spraying. Start going. That's how that will work. So let me go put on my mask and my safety glasses, and we'll start undercoating.
So I still have my mask on because it is pretty hazy in here with the undercoating. But I mean, it did a really nice job spraying. I did have to take all the bolts off and spray in behind it, so hopefully you can kind of see that with the limited light that we have. But yeah, I mean, it did the job. Quick, easy. I think I had this whole thing done in probably like less than 20 minutes. And some overspray, but we'll clean that up as we go through it. But it good coverage and fast. So yeah. Anyway, Brian from Garage Mahal with your sprayer. Be safe out there.